WordPress is well known for its ease of installation. Installing WordPress is a very simple process and it takes less than 5 minutes to complete. Before installing a WordPress, you need to check that your web hosting provider fulfills the necessary software requirements and conditions. Some of the requirements on the server side include a PHP version 7.4 and above, database, preferably a MySQL 5.6 and above. In terms of requirement on the local machine or host, you need a text editor, an FTP, and your preferred web browser. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a WordPress and also how to create a virtual host using Xampp so that you can access your local installed WordPress website using a URL or what we refer to as an address. First thing you need to install is you need to install the server, and we are going to use Apache. So we are going to install this distribution that contains the MariaDB, PHP, and MySQL called Xampp. So we are going to use Xampp. So the first thing is you need to install Xampp. And when installing Xampp, check in the requirement for the WordPress. So if you go to here to WordPress, if you want to download the WordPress, you can see here the recommended requirement for the server side, as we have mentioned earlier, is that need recommended PHP version 7.4 or higher, MySQL 5.7 or higher, or MariaDB version 10.3 or greater. So when you are downloading your Xampp, make sure that you download the correct version. So you go ahead and download your Xampp. We will come back when we have downloaded the Xampp. So once you download the Xampp, you can install it. So this is Xampp. Double click the setup, install the Xampp. Just say okay. Then a wizard, a setup wizard will come up. So go next. Select the component you want to install. By default, just install the default component. Then here, you choose where you want to install your Xampp, and then you click. So it will take you through step by step how to install. Once it has installed, I have already installed my Xampp in my computer. In the installation file C Xampp, it will create this folder C Xampp where you have installed. So if you go to C, local disk C, Xampp, then the folder where you put your file is htdocs. So once you install, it will create a folder in the local disk you have created. So in my case, local disk C, Xampp. Then where you put your files, your website file, your WordPress file, or any web application you want to create is called htdocs. Once you open htdocs, you're going to see the installation files. Those installation files you can actually remove. But in our case, we want to install WordPress. So in this folder, we are going to create another folder that we want to call it WordPress, where we are going to download the WordPress and put the WordPress files here. So we go back to our website. go to the WordPress website, wordpress.org. Then you say get WordPress. Then we download the latest version of the WordPress. So download WordPress 6.0.2. So we continue once the download is complete. So once the download is complete, you can now copy your WordPress to the installation files. So you copy the WordPress, then you go to your installation file, which is Xampp, docs, localhost, Xampp, docs, the folder we have copied, WordPress, paste it there. Then extract the components. So we can delete this one. And instead of having two subfolder WordPress, we can copy this to here. Have this folder so that in our folder we have created local Xampp, have local C, Xampp, then you have docs, then we have our WordPress with the files we have. So before we install the WordPress, let's create the virtual host so that we can have a virtual host URL, or what we refer to as WordPress. Okay, we have done two issues. We have installed a Xampp, which has the server Apache, and it has the database, that is the MySQL, and we also have the. So this is the local host we are creating, we have downloaded and installed them. Once we install it, create a folder in the installation folder you have created. So it will create a folder in local, in the installation local disk you have installed, like in my case, local disk. Create a folder Xampp. Then where you put the files is docs. So here normally it will create the default files, the installation default file. You can delete them, and then you create a folder where you put your WordPress. So this is the folder we have created, WordPress, the folder we have created, and we have put the WordPress file here. So what we have done, we have gone to the WordPress, the website, and downloaded a new WordPress, get a new WordPress. So we have downloaded the new WordPress, download WordPress 0.02 by the time you are creating this video, and then we have put those installation files in the docs, the WordPress we have created. So now the next step we want to do is to create a virtual or URL or virtual host URL, and to do that you need to edit two files, and to do that you need an editor. You need to have an editor, and in my case I have a Notepad++ editor. What you need is you need to open your Notepad with the administrative light. So your Notepad, then you run it as an administrator, right? There you are. And the first file you need to edit is the file called http -hyphen bhost.config. The other one is what we call the host file. So where do you get this file? Get this file, go to open the file with the editor. So you open the Xampp or the folder you have created your You have installed your Xampp, so you say open, then you go to the folder. So you can see here the folder is Xampp, Apache, config, extra. The folder you have installed your Xampp. So in my case is localhost. So you go to Xampp, then go to Apache folder, then you go to config folder, then you go to extra, then here you find the file. You find the file http host, http hyphen v host config, then you open the file. So this is the file you want to edit. So for this file, you find this set of findings and one. So what you need to do is for this case, for example, you can you uncomment. So this is the one we are going to use. I have actually added the others virtual host. If you want to use this, you uncomment those two lines, virtual host, and then you need to uncomment here the document, the one we need, document root, and the server name. So in our case, the document root is where you have the document or the WordPress you have. So in our case is C Xampp httdocs. Then we have our folder there. We have named our folder as WordPress. You can see here WordPress. This is our folder, WordPress. And then the server name. This is the name you want to call your server. So we can call it, for example, WordPress.net, or you can call it .com or .org, the name we want to go. So once you are through, click save. You can see I have created other virtual host. So that's all you need to do. WordPress, so the document root, server. So the other document you need to edit is the host. To edit this host, again you go to file, you say open. So the host file is in the Windows system that it drivers etc folder. So you go to C again, and then we go to Windows, then you go to system32, and after system32 you go to drivers, then after drivers you go to etc folder, and then you have the host file, and you open the host. So this is the host file, and this you need to do is just add your server names here. So in our case is WordPress.not, WordPress, then save. Just like here, we have created here WordPress.net. You can create .com, .org, any extension you want to create. So here we are, WordPress, and then save. So then you can open your Xampp. You can run your Xampp. There you are. Then you start Apache. Start there. Let's suppose you have already, the Xampp was already running when you are creating this file. The host, when you are updating the host file and the vhost config file, and your Xampp was already running. So what you do is when you are done editing your file, just click stop here. then you start it so that it can be able to detect the changes you have made to your file. So once you are done now, you can now go to your tab, and then you type your host, WordPress net. There you go. You can see here it has already brought the setup our WordPress. So WordPress.net has already brought up the setup to install our WordPress. But before we do that, we need to create the database. To do that, you need to go to localhost .php myadmin, localhost .php admin. There you go. It has opened the database. So you go to the database here. Then you give our database name, data name, and then you create. So we have created our database name that we are going to use to install our WordPress. And you can create the users. Here you can create a user. You can add a new user here. Give it the name, like your name, the host, localhost. Give it the password, and then you give all the privileges, granted all the privileges for your database. But for our case here, we are going to use the normal, or what we call to as the default root user here. So we are going to use the. So we have created the database. So we go ahead and install our database, our WordPress. We install the WordPress. So there we are. We have set up our database. Database is ready, and we can now set up our WordPress. So we said the setting up is very easy. So you just point your URL. You have created your virtual host. Then you say continue. So here it will ask you to enter the database username, password, and the host and the table prefix if you want to learn more than WordPress in a single database. So you write it down. So we have created our database, which is that one. So we are going to use the default user account, which is root. It does not have a password. But take care if you are using this in not in a local host. Use database, you have to enter with the password. So it does not have the password. Then you have the localhost. So bit of prefix can remain the same. This and there you are. It has accepted our details. Then you say run the installation. So it will ask for our WordPress title. So we can give it a title. Then you can give it a name. Yeah, WordPress at. Then you can give it a password. Get a strong password. Then maybe you can enter your password, and then install. So there you are. We have the WordPress. You can log in. And enter your password, and you can check your WordPress. There you see, you can see the URL. So it has a default theme for your WordPress. You can log into your backend. You can log into your WordPress. Yeah, you have the WordPress already installed. You can see the dashboard. You can change the themes. Get this. Well, now you are ready to start creating your website. So this is how you simply install a WordPress website. Easy, follow steps. Also how to create a virtual. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.